Just like this sleeve had to be turned up. Honestly, I turned it up 4 inches. And so that's what I'll have to do with the pant leg. Because with a pant leg, with a flare, it's going to come in at the knee and then out in the flare. Well, if I folded it up 4 or 5 inches down here, then the entire flare would be removed, and then she would be back to just regular pants. So I'm going to go to the lengthen shorten line and fold it up half of the number of inches. Like if I have to fold it up, if I have to shorten it 4 inches, I make a 2-inch tuck, and so that will actually shorten it 4 inches. So you can hold me to it because the pattern should be coming today, and I'm anxious to make her a pair. She's been so looking forward to having a pair of flared pants that work for her, and I really want to do it for her.
Sally, we're back.
Are we back?
Yep, everything is good.
We're back on
There
Facebook.
was a second speaker added, so I took it off.
What?
So anyway, we're good.
Oh, so we're back on.
Yep, YouTube and Facebook.
Oh my goodness. I never know what's going to happen next. Anyway, so what did everybody hear?
You were in the middle of talking about the pants.
Okay. So anyway, so use your lengthen shorten lines on the bodice to shorten it like this way, and that way it hits the waist at the right spot, and your lengthen shorten line on the sleeve, and that way the wrist will be the right measurement, and so you shorten it like here instead of at the bottom, because then it makes it too wide. And anyway, if you have to lengthen it, you do kind of the same thing. You actually cut it at that line and drop it down whatever you need to do, and you make your adjustment to lengthen it. You make it there, and so I hope that helps a little bit. The reason I hit the part about being short-waisted because I'm short-waisted, and a lot of times if I get something from the store, I want to just grab it like this and grab a hold of the shoulders and say, this is what I need. It fits me better if I take this up right here. Well, that's because the waistline is hitting at the hip instead of at the waist. So when you sew, you can take care of that problem ahead of time, and that is a good thing. Okay, so everything's still good, right? Yay! So right along that same line, I looked up measuring children, because I just need to do this. I have random pieces of paper, anything I grab when one of the kids is here, and I write down, at least I write down the date, I write their name, I write a list of all the things that I want to measure. And so I thought, well, let's see what's out there, because there are a lot of free downloads, and I put 3 links in my newsletter. But then, since then, I found one that I like better than any of them, and this one is from threadingmyway.com. Threadingmyway.com. Now I like this. We're going to try the overhead then. I like this because on most of the other ones, they don't have a shoulder to shoulder measurement or a neck to waist. But this one, threadingmyway.com, it has all of the measurements that I think you need. The only thing it doesn't have that I would add is the date. I would add the date to this. And then you're going to want to take the child's measurements. I don't know. I mean, every time you sew them a new garment, probably, sometimes it's like, you can watch them get taller. You know, sometimes, I used to say when my boys were, when they were in their growth spurt, say when they walked down the stairs in the morning, they looked like they grew 3 inches overnight. And so with children, you have to take their measurements pretty often, I think. And so in order for something to fit well, you are going to want to take their measurements, record them, and keep them handy when you're starting a new pattern. Now, a lot of you sew for kids and grandkids and really do custom sewing. for people that you've never seen up close and personal. And so people will ask us, they'll ask us, hey, how much elastic should I put in the wrist of something? How long should a dress for a size 2? And well, there is a chart for that. And so this is made by Marzipan, Marzipan. This is a chart with actual children's body measurements. I'm going to go to the overhead. And it's a great guideline because it gives from newborn, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The average measurement for head circumference, wrist circumference, bicep, sleeve length, chest, waist, and hip. And if you keep this handy, that can be a great guideline if you're sewing for somebody that doesn't live near you, or you just know their age. I'm going to sew for a 2-year-old. I wonder what the average whatever, waistline whatever for a 2-year-old. Or if you're making a hat, you might want to know the head circumference. So this is a wonderful chart to keep in your sewing notebook. And so that, and then the actual measurements for the kids. And so then when you have that, and you can make your adjustments. Like, let me show you this pattern. Let's say you know that the child's, let's say, okay, the finished, well, this is like finished length, but finished length, let me look in here. I've got it, the measurement. If you know what your child's measurement is, and then you can compare it to the body measurements on the pattern. Okay, let's say you have a 7-year-old and you took her the chest measurement. The chest measurement for the 7-year-old in this pattern is 25. And let's say yours is 26. Well, you might want to add just a fraction of an inch to each side seam. If you add a quarter of an inch to each side seam, front and back, you've added 1 inch. And so then your the pattern has already taken into consideration the wearing ease, because they always add an ease for the style of the garment. And so you're looking at their body measurement, and you know that your child's 1 inch bigger than what they planned for a size 7. You're going to want to add 1 inch to that chest measurement when you're cutting the garment out. So, anyway, hopefully I haven't bored everybody to tears. I really enjoy this part of sewing.
I like that the bottle of vinegar is in the view and you hadn't even mentioned it yet.
I know. You wonder about the vinegar? Go. Yeah, the vinegar is really interesting. One thing that made me think about this, I have a son that is a plumber, and the other day he was talking to one of his employees and who was struggling with a problem at one of their customers' houses. And the guy said, well, he couldn't figure out the problem. It's like nobody knew what the problem was or something like that. And my son said, no. It's all about physics. There is an answer to the problem. You just have to get to the bottom of it. It's all about physics. And I say with sewing, it's all about numbers. And you can solve the fitting problem if you just have the right numbers. And that's what I thought with Joel. It's like, no, there's an answer to the problem. You just have to think about the physics of it. And I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. So anyway.
Grace said, I've been wondering about the vinegar.
You wonder about the vinegar? I'll tell you about the vinegar. Let me get to it. So I asked you what you use in your house that you're not going to buy at the fabric store, and somebody said, see, all these I've underlined so many that you said to me, they're really good. They use vinegar. They wet a pressing cloth and put vinegar on it, and you can either press in like a permanent press in a pleat, or you can press out a pleat, like where your hem has been pressed up, and you want to get rid of that crease. You can take your wet pressing cloth and have it vinegar and water, and I mean it kind of stinks, but but it really works. And press that crease. You can press a crease out, and you can press a pleat in. And now that we do have a product for that too. This is called a Raja pressing cloth, and this is infused with an ingredient that works exactly the same way. It just doesn't smell weird. And you get it in wash it in cold water. Let's see, you can wash it in cold water to get up to 1,000 uses on this. But you get it damp, and you use it to press creases in and press creases out. So it's called the Raja pressing cloth, and we've sold lots and lots of these. People really love this. So that way you don't have to keep your vinegar next to you. But you know there are a million uses for vinegar, right?
I love it.
Cleaning, don't you clean with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I clean and cook with it all the time.
Yeah. With white vinegar?
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
What do you cook with white vinegar? She's
goes-
a good cook, so.
It's gonna sound gross, but I cook my veggie burgers with vinegar.
She's a.
Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, veggie burgers sound really yummy in white vinegar. Although I know you're a good cook, so I'm sure it's really good. Yeah. So that's what that's all about. That's the white vinegar. Now, some of the other things, people like to use medicine bottles for your old needles or for your beads, or bent pins. I'm thinking, wonder why she's using it for bent pins. Maybe you should throw those bent pins away. But there are a lot of uses, and I'm always looking around in the pantry saying, why am I buying containers when, look at here, I happen to love my coffee mate. And so we have, I would say, probably hundreds of these, and I've had to actually throw them away too. Now, if the buttons are tiny enough, you can shake them out here when it comes time to count them for an order, and they're really, really awesome. And then if I run out of milk down at my house, and we have extra here, I pour some in and carry that with me, or vice versa, and they work great. And then people that don't drink whole big things like this, but they know that I like the coffee mate things, and they drink just a little short bottles. Those work great for when you don't have this many buttons. And so the other thing, we like mixed nuts around here, and so they are really wonderful containers too, because they fit great in a cabinet. And look at all the buttons you can put in here. These are really pretty. So these are little covered buttons, and then you can see what you have. So yeah, I like the one I like the best. Somebody said what they use for their little tool around what they use for their little tool is their credit card. That's the tool they use for sewing, is like they buy stuff with their credit card. But somebody else uses a credit card to, like an old credit card expired, to help you jump like a hump jumper when you're sewing and you have a big thick area that's coming up and you want to sew over it. You can put that credit card in there, and it helps level it out. And so they use that. So do you know what we're using this for? Smells good. Dane. These are dryer softener sheets, and years and years ago, Peanut Butter and Jelly Kids gave this tip, and we've used it ever since. Now, a lot of people use wax paper in their pleater to lubricate the needles. And when I read this, Peanut Butter and Jelly, Anna Marie Phelps, Peanut Butter and Jelly Kids said they take the dryer fabric softener sheet, and they wipe both sides of the fabric and then run it through the pleater. And Ariel swears by these. We keep boxes of these over in the pleating area. This works great. These are a little easier to use than wax paper. So, and you can use them several times till it doesn't have much life left in it. But anyway, that's what that's for. No, but I don't think anybody else suggested that, but several people suggested the wax paper. Anyway, if you haven't tried this and you pleat, this works great. All right. Now, I'm going to break up that one to tell you this one. We have added 2 new.
Susan's got a suggestion.
Oh,
for
good.
that. She
Okay.
said dryer sheets also help to remove residue from the bottom of an iron.
Oh, that's
Didn't
great.
know that.
I need it right over there on my iron.
I use the dryer sheet to clean out the lint filter in my dryer.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Because it picks it up?
It'll grab it and hang on to it.
Oh,
Good.
That's a good idea.
So that's another awesome little tool to use. Then we have added today 2 new categories on our website, and I think you'll like these. One is they're both under the main category called More Ways to Shop, and one is called Vintage D-Stash. And so we Emma and I used to put one on every once in a while, and it would just be gone just like that. And we thought, well, you know what? We need just a category for that. And so we will be putting things in the Vintage D-Stash that will be available for purchase. And you never know what might be in there. There might be old patterns, old, who knows, buttons, magazines, whatever. So they're going to be, used magazines, like old Austrian smocking and that kind of thing. But if you're wanting to add to your collection, that's going to be a good category. And then the other thing, and I'm excited about this, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I think 2 years ago we had a sock drive, and y'all were so responsive and wonderful. And we worked with Journey Church in Augusta, Georgia, and the pastor there is Keith Walton, and he was my boys' coach at Augusta Christian School when they were in school. And they absolutely loved him, and so did we. My husband and I just think he's great. But anyway, he's a pastor there now, and he said that they really he works a lot with the homeless, and they needed socks. And so we decided we'd have a sock drive. And so people sent socks, they sent money, and we said we go toe-to-toe with you. We matched everything that people gave. If it was socks, we'd match the number of socks. And we gave hundreds and hundreds of pairs of socks because y'all were so generous. Well, we have another drive, and it's in right now under More Ways to Shop, and it's called Heritage Academy Scholarship Fund. And so that is, Heritage Academy is a school down in the inner city of Augusta, Georgia. And the reason Augusta is only like 10 minutes from here. And so we interact with Augusta a lot. And my friend, Linda Toucheron, and they call her Dr. T because her last name was hard for everybody to pronounce. Anyway, my husband Joe and I met Linda and her husband John back when we were in our 20s, and we were members of First Presbyterian Church downtown Augusta. And so Linda, she's got her PhD, and she has a real heart for people, and she started the Heritage Academy, and they used an old school downtown Augusta, and then people volunteered, and there were businessmen that donated and gave, and people volunteered their time, and they built a very lovely school. And they have now they have some preschool too, but they have K through 8, and it's accredited, and just, I mean, really proud. It's something my husband and I have supported the whole time that they've been there. And we, as a business, we want to give back to the community. And so I feel like this is a good thing. And so we're going to have things in this category that the proceeds, on some items, 100% of the proceeds will go to the scholarship fund, because we want to fund one scholarship, one complete full scholarship for a child for a year, and that's our goal. And then other items that we put in there, there'll be a portion of the proceeds will go to the scholarship fund. So anyway, if you get anything from that category, it's going to a really great cause and run by people you can trust that we've known for decades now, actually. And so I like to know that I'm giving my hard-earned money to somebody that I can trust completely. And anyway, I know that I can trust everybody at Heritage Academy, and so that's going to be our new mission, our giving mission. So maybe you'll be interested in helping with that, and we'll see. All right. So now I've got lots of variety of things. I wonder if you've ever thought, what is the difference between, and I'm going to use Speckler Vogel's fabrics, Speckler Vogel Cotton Lawn and Speckler Vogel Pima Cotton Batiste. They're very, very similar in weight, and they're pretty close in price. And so we sell them all the time. They have gorgeous colors. Let's see which is which here. This top one is a Pima Cotton Batiste, and it's called Light Blue. And so people will ask us, what's the difference between Pima Cotton Batiste and Lawn? And so mostly it's maybe the tightness of the weave, it's the weight of the fabric. And so I called my sales rep, and she got back to me. The Pima Cotton Batiste is a little lighter weight. That's this one. It's 2.25 ounces, and that means per square yard. Now, and it's made in Thailand. The Pima Cotton Batiste is made in Thailand. The Lawn, the Speckler Vogel Lawn, is made in Japan, and that is 2.5 ounces per square yard. So they're very close in weight. This one, I think it has a little more, maybe a little more firm finish. I mean, it's just this. The Pima Cotton Batiste is just a little lighter weight. I don't know if you can kind of see my hand through it. It's a little lighter weight. The colors are pretty. They have a lot of the same colors, that the exact dye lot, not quite the same, but they're very, very nice. So a lot of people will use like Swiss Batiste, or it used to be Barissima, but Swiss Nalona as an heirloom dress, but then they might make a slip, because it's so much less expensive. They might make the slip out of the Pima Cotton Batiste. And same with the Lawn. And the Lawn has it's not as heavy as broadcloth, but it's a little bit heavier than Pima Cotton Batiste, just a little bit. And then the interesting thing is the white Lawn is lighter weight than the Lawn with colors. Isn't that interesting? I asked her about that. I do know that sometimes the black fabrics in a line of fabrics will be heavier than all of them. And like a piqué or something, you can feel it. And it must be the dyes that they have to use. Must be maybe more dye in it to create that. Yeah.
My goodness.
But the white Lawn is 1.9 ounces per square yard, while the Lawn in colors is 2.5. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So, just giving you the facts, ma'am. Yeah. And so, a lot of times people will ask about the weight of denims, and so that kind of got me going, because I really didn't pay much attention, because we didn't handle denim that much. But it'll talk about ounces, 6 ounce or 10 ounce or whatever. That just means the weight per square yard. And if it's in grams, whatever grams, it's the weight per square meter. And that'll give you an idea. If you know the weight of one, and you're looking online at something, and that's heavier, then it'll give you an idea of the difference in the weight.
Darla said, good information.
Good, thanks. I can show you the same thing in the ivory because it's kind of fun to see it in blue. This top is Pima Cotton Batiste. This is pretty. It really is pretty. But this works fine as a dress too. You don't have to use it as an undergarment. It's beautiful. It works very fine as that. And these would be pretty under Swiss voile too. And then this is the same thing in a lawn. This is their ivory color. It's a little bit deeper in color than the Pima Cotton Batiste. Just a little bit. Might be a little hard to see. Yeah. But these are real popular. Because the price is very reasonable and they're pretty. The quality is nice. They look nice. You can put them under silk too, and it works great. Okay, let's talk about how people weight down their fabric when they're sewing. Fabric weights. So some of the ways, and if you have another option, let us know. So not everybody buys those wonderful fabric weights that you can get at the fabric store, and they buy, like from Lowe's or maybe Harbor Freight, heavy washers, heavy metal washers, and it will hold your fabric in place while you're cutting. Now, I don't know, sometimes that, it's like galvanized or whatever that metal is, can get you kind of dirty. You can make little, a little pocket, a little fabric pocket out of your scrap of fabric and put that inside of it and use that for fabric weights. The other thing, several people said that they cut their fabrics, their patterns out in their kitchen or dining room, and they just go to their pantry and grab, canned goods, and boom, like this, and set canned goods on their things to keep them in place when they're sewing. So that was a good one. Large metal washers. Somebody said they use a fork to make pleats, and I've seen Connie Palmer do that. You put a fork in, and we carry the little quick pleaters, but they use a fork, and then I've never done it, but I've watched it. And you put it in your fabric and flip it over, and put it in and flip it over, and it makes even pleats. And so then use knitting needles to turn things like spaghetti or to get the corners in your collars and things all turned right. Shish kebab sticks. They help hold lace or piping in place when you sew because you can hold it down and not sew over your finger. Somebody is right after me. They use clear plastic containers from Snacks, and then she doesn't need to purchase store containers. Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. Until, I don't know, not maybe not that many years ago, I really didn't even use paper towels in my house. We grew up on cloth with cloth towels and cloth dish towels, and I didn't use disposable things. I didn't use disposable diapers with my kids, and I hung things. We had clotheslines in the backyard, and we hung them out on the line. And I think I'm thinking about all this because our economy is tight, and everybody's grocery bills are getting higher. And so you think about ways that you can conserve and what can you use that you have around your house. And so, I
have a pair of chopsticks.
That's what we have. Yeah, that's good. Then here's a vinegar rag or cloth to press out a crease, right? Nona Pontiff uses butcher paper. If she has a tissue pattern that she likes to use a lot, you can buy butcher paper, and you can iron it on the back of your pattern, because that shiny stuff sticks, and that way it makes that pattern really stable. Ashley thought that was a good
I didn't
idea.
know that.
I'm thinking I might buy a roll from Costco or Sam's that has it in a roll. So that was a great suggestion. All right. Let's see what else. Oh, if you need the perfect oval, circle, or rectangle, just look in your cabinets. You don't need to buy any kind of a form because you have dishes in all those shapes and sizes. So that's a great suggestion. Tweezers, definitely tweezers for all kinds of things. And now this is what I like. So I showed, and I guess I have them at my sewing machine. I brought in some little tiny slivers of bar of soap, and I grew up using that. I keep some by my sewing machine all the time. I grew up using that to mark. Let's see if I can find that mark. I marked it the other day. I like to mark on denim or dark things, and I guess I folded it back up. And you can use soap to mark on there. You can mark darts. You can mark where your crease line should be. You could mark where your pleat line should be, and mark it with soap. And of course, you know that's going to go away. And then this, though, was a great suggestion. Right here, Charlene Scott said she has a fabric covered bar of soap she uses as a pin cushion. Her great grandmother taught her. And so you cover that bar of soap with fabric, and I would suggest you use wool because wool also lubricates pins. But then you punch your pins in there, and they're already lubricated to run through your fabric. So that's a great idea. Let's see. This is Sandra Lunsford, freezer paper, skewers, toothpicks, knitting needles. And
Andrea says I use soap to mark dark fabric. Oh, I thought she said dark. Dark fabrics.
yeah, dark, yeah.
Okay. Washes out.
It does. It's great. And I'm all about saving money, you know, and so I can't bring myself to buy like soap, like liquid bath soap, because I think you go through it way too fast. But a bar of soap will last like 5 times longer, and you've only paid $1 for it, maybe at the Dollar Tree, or even less. And that really nice, pretty one that smells so pretty, you know, it's like gone. And the kids might come and they might use it for a bubble bath, and you're like, you know, so I'm gonna have slivers of bars of soap because I'm not gonna use that liquid bath soap. So it's just like, ooh, I can't stand to spend the money on that. Isn't that crazy? Somebody, as Celine Lowry said, she likes to use dental cleaners to clean the fuzz out of her sewing machine, and she uses toothpicks under her buttons when sewing them on, because I do that too, because when you sew over it, it creates a shank, and you pull that out and you can wrap your thread around there, and you have your button is not like slammed up next to your garment. So that works great. Pat Castellano uses freezer paper for appliques. And now this is good. Vicki Hensley said she uses painter's tape for holding items in the hoop, marking the first quilting line, and some bag construction steps. And she's the one that said, my favorite household tool is a credit card. I thought that was cute. All right.
Household and shopping tool.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Leilani Fisk said she likes to keep an Elmer's glue stick next to her sewing machine. It works very well to position things. This week she used it to sew on Girl Scout packages. And she said if you use your iron on top of the item, it'll stick hard until it's washed. And then it comes out. And she also uses tape. And so this week, this is a great suggestion. She's using masking tape around her finger for holding beads for smocking. And so you wrap it around your finger with the sticky side out, and you can pick up a bead and use it for smocking. And that's just a piece of masking tape. So what are you going to do with all this money we're saving? You can go out to eat, I guess. I don't know.
Andrea says when she travels, she uses empty dental floss cutters to cut her embroidery threads.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. So hopefully everybody heard that. When Andrea, when she travels, uses empty dental floss holders with the cutter so she can cut her embroidery thread. That's good. Knitting needles again. Cindy Hester, husband Hester, said she uses knitting needles to turn sashes and such. And Rachel Rogers said, I use my kitchen table to cut my fabric. I use canned goods to hold the fabric from sliding off the table. And I have a pair of chopsticks I use to poke the corners out with. And Darlene Pokora also uses chopsticks for turning tubes. Now this one, Kay Lee, man, she uses tongs from the kitchen, skewers, wax paper for her pleater, large plastic bags for patterns that have been used, a hammer, screwdrivers, a lazy Susan to hold items for one machine, empty toothpick canisters for used needles and bent pins. Oh my, many more, I'm sure. Now, ivory soap. Sandra Humphreys uses ivory soap to rub onto her fabric before pleating a garment to smock. So, if you put your pins in a soap bar, then I could see how that would work. Yeah.
Rosanna said, great segment. I can't write fast enough. Good information.
Yeah. Now, this is a great one. Tracy Williams said, I use one beater in my mixer with embroidery thread to make twisted cord. So, I mean, you have to do it kind of slow, right? But she said it's so much fun. And, I mean, that's pretty cool. I'd like to see it in action.
She does what now?
She puts the one beater in her mixer, and then she makes twisted cord. And so, she must hook it onto that. And it, I mean, I don't know how it keeps from getting all... Yeah. I'm sure it works. Okay, then Susan Dorchester said, I've always used soap shards for marking, regular tweezers, toothpicks, skewers. This is a good idea. A small artist paintbrush to clean my machine, freezer paper for quilting, and some old clear coffee jars to store buttons. Now, where's the one? I love the one where she uses it in old booze bottles. I'm trying to find that one. Empty booze bottles. Where is that one? That was pretty cute. Anyway, these are fun. I've got to find that. Pretty empty booze bottles. Oh yeah, here it is.
That says I use Ferrier Rocher. I don't know how to say that. The candy boxes, Ferrier
Oh yeah,
Rocher for her threads.
You know what? We have one. When Fabric Finder stopped by here, they brought us that candy, and I could not. The box. I could not bring myself to do anything with that box. This is Becky Ryan Calvin. I repurpose amber, clear, or green pill bottles for storing bead and specialty buttons. But my main button collection is sorted by color and stored on shelves in pretty used booze bottles.
Yeah, she's on here. She said, "That's me. I'll send you a picture."
Yes, I'd love to see a picture. That was fun. I had to laugh when I saw that. That's fun.
Whenever I buy alcohol, me and Andrew usually go for the bottle. So,
Oh, do you? Because
yeah.
the bottle is pretty?
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
I want to see.
Oh, you guys, I love that you did this. That was so much fun. Man, I do want to show this one more time. I did a little video earlier this week. We have this silk organza on special. It's such a beautiful silk organza. And it's only $10.98 a yard, regular like $21.98, something like that. It's gorgeous. And so I'm going to tell you, you can make your own. I mean, we sell fat quarters, and you can do your own. You can make your own pressing claws out of this. You can use this as an underlining on a garment, and it keeps it. It's lightweight, but keeps it structured. Jane Seeley uses it when she does lots of lace work. She puts it under her lace, and so it doesn't add color and it doesn't add weight, but it gives it the firmness that she can actually, cut a yoke out with it. And so this is really, I'm just going to push it because I'm telling you, you're going to want some of this in your stash. This is great stuff. And I did show it with this silk taffeta, and I thought, did we have that online? I asked Christy. This is, I'll show you on here. I'm going to go to the overhead. It's from Italy. Yeah, made in Italy. Pure silk. Let me go see if we can actually see it in here. Here's a Seta pure silk, made in Italy, right here. And it's really, really pretty. It's pretty. Together, these two things, I mean, I'm thinking a flower girl dress, a wedding dress. It's just like scrumptious. So anyway, I wanted to show it again because you don't want to miss this. This is good. That's pretty. I think I've covered everything. I love that you answer, and I really enjoyed your answers about what you're doing for Thanksgiving too. And so I'm not sure what we're doing for Thanksgiving. We definitely are not cooking because I don't have a kitchen to cook in yet. But we'll be with some of our kids anyway, I'm sure. And if not, we'll be reading a good book somewhere because both my husband and I love to read, and you know, it's fine. It's fine. You know what? I do want to show one other thing because look at this. We have this as a free pattern, don't we? It's a download. This little cape, and this is the time of the year for it. We have this little capelet pattern. It's a free PDF pattern on our website. And this is what it looks like. Right here. That's it. And so it only has 6 pages. Easy to print out and tape together. Here it is in a white fur and a beige fur and an animal fur. But it'd be cute in silk or corduroy or, you know, wool or anything. It'd be really sweet. So, what do we call it?
That boucle stuff.
Oh, it'd be pretty in the boucle. I love that idea. Yeah, and that's something that when I'm in a hurry, that I could totally knock that one out really fast. I love that.
Sounds like some good Christmas presents.
Yes, it does. What a great idea. Okay, we had a lot of people that liked our little, Emma and I weren't sure what to call it. We put a little gift package together. We had all kinds of random things from corduroy to...
It was thoughtful laces and thrown together fabrics.
Yeah, that's right. We had some very interesting different kinds of laces and things, and so, and we have people interested in it. So we'll see who the winner is. I actually am going to make Michelle reach over here and grab. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. All right. There's Michelle.
Pre-Thanksgiving winner. G-Bray Mon 66. Very nice lace pieces. We are having family over to our lake house. We will have all the traditional dinners.
Okay.
Kara Snyder was tagged.
Yeah.
But G-Bray Mon 66.
Maybe it's G.B. Raymond.
Oh,
Maybe.
G-Bay Raymond.
Maybe.
I'm not used to Instagram
I know
names.
Instagram is harder. So thank you very much. And we're still trying to decide what we're going to do next week. We're going to be half day on Wednesday, and so not sure what's happening. We might be able to come on a little bit before that time, but anyway, we won't be here on Friday for sure. But thanks for joining us today. You were wonderful, and I appreciate it. Bye.